The mysterious disappearance of the Soda Children, a real-life unsolved mystery. Introduction: on Christmas Eve in 1945, a fire broke out in the Soda family home in Fayetteville, West Virginia. 5 of the 10 Soda children were believed to have perished in the flames, but something was off. No remains were ever found, and strange clues emerged that suggested they might not have died at all. The Soda children's disappearance remains one of the most perplexing and chilling unsolved mysteries in American history. The Soda family, a happy household. George and Jenny Soda were Italian immigrants who settled in West Virginia. They had 10 children and were well known in their community. George was a successful businessman who ran a trucking company, and their life seemed ordinary. However, George was outspoken about his anti-Mussolini views, which led to tensions with some members of the local Italian community. Despite these tensions, the Soda family enjoyed a normal life, until the fateful night of December 24, 1945, when their world was turned upside down. The night of the fire. The Soda family spent Christmas Eve together. Some of the children stayed up late playing with their new toys, while George and Jenny went to bed. Around 12:30 a.m., a phone call woke Jenny. A woman's voice asked for a name Jenny didn't recognize, followed by strange laughter in the background. Jenny later recalled hearing footsteps on the roof. At 1 a.m., Jenny woke up again to the smell of smoke. The house was on fire. She and George rushed to gather their children, but 5 of them, Maurice, 14, Martha, 12, Louis, 9, Jenny, 8, and Betty, 5, were missing. The fire spread quickly. George tried to rescue the children, but encountered a series of strange obstacles. 1, the house phone was dead. 2, his ladder was missing. 3, his trucks, which he planned to use to reach the second-floor window, mysteriously wouldn't start. 4, there was no response when they tried to get help. By morning, the house was reduced to ashes. No remains were ever found. Despite the intense fire, no bones or remains of the 5 children were discovered in the ashes. Experts said that human bones should have been found even in a house fire of that magnitude. The local fire chief suggested the flames might have incinerated their bodies completely, but later tests proved that house fires, even those burning at extreme temperatures, do not fully destroy bones. This raised a terrifying possibility. Had the children actually perished in the fire, or had they been kidnapped? Strange clues begin to emerge. After the fire, a series of strange occurrences deepen the mystery. A witness claimed to have seen a man watching the Soda children from a car just before the fire. Another witness saw the missing children in a passing car while the house burned. A motel worker in Charleston, West Virginia, later reported seeing the children with 2 Italian-speaking adults. Jenny Soda found a piece of an unidentified object near the house, which an expert identified as a firebomb, suggesting the fire was started deliberately. Perhaps the most chilling clue came in 1949, when George Soda had the site excavated. A private investigator found human vertebrae in the debris, but when examined, they were determined to belong to an adult, not a child. A cryptic photograph. In 1967, the Soda family received an envelope with no return address. Inside was a photograph of a young man in his 20s, along with a chilling note. Louis Soda, I love Brother Frankie, Lil Boys, a 90132 or 35 inches. The man in the photo bore a strong resemblance to their missing son, Louis. But when the Sodders hired another investigator to track the source of the letter, he vanished without a trace. Theories behind the disappearance. One, mafia or human trafficking. Some believe the Soder children were kidnapped as revenge for George's outspoken views against Mussolini. The theory suggests the children were taken to Italy or sold into human trafficking. 2. Government involvement. Others speculate the children were taken by a powerful group and given new identities. The cryptic letter and lack of police cooperation fuel these suspicions. 3. Accidental death covered up. A more skeptical theory suggests that the children did die in the fire, and the lack of remains was due to human error in searching the wreckage. 4. Witness protection or hidden identities. Some suggest the children were secretly relocated and forced to forget their past. The case remains open. George Soder spent his life searching for his children, even placing billboards along the highway offering a reward. He died in 1969 without ever finding answers. Jenny Soder continued searching until her death in 1989. To this day, the fate of the Soder children remains a chilling mystery. Were they taken? Did they perish in the fire? Or is there a truth even more sinister lurking beneath the surface? Conclusion. The Soder case is one of history's most baffling disappearances. Over 75 years later, we are left with more questions than answers. If the Soder children were alive, they would be in their 80s or 90s today. Was this an elaborate crime or a tragic accident shrouded in mystery? What do you think happened to the Soder children? Let us know in the comments below.